You're listening to the Super League pod. We've been away for a couple of weeks, but we're back with a Four Nations special. Mark and Tom are here with all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of rugby league, and we'll be looking back at the first two rounds of the Four Nations series. It's great to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Super League pod. Okay, hello everyone. A day later than advertised due to work commitments for me, but the Four Nations...
Honest, I didn't get out of work till gone 7 o'clock anyway.
Oh, super. Oh, well, then I don't feel quite so bad then.
No.
But we are, Mark and Tom, here with another Super League pod. Out for the first of our Four Nations specials. We'll be looking back over the first two rounds of the Four Nations, but before we get to that, we'll have all the usual fun stuff that we bring you on a weekly basis. But let's start by saying hello to my co-host Mark. How's it going? How does it feel to be back in the podcast studio?
It's been a long break, hasn't it?
I'm literally like buzzing. I'm grinning ear to ear.
Yeah,
very happy.
No, it's good, and like the weekend sort of reinvigorated things as well. I've needed
massively.
Sometimes I need a break come the end of the year because there's a lot of work and stuff.
I didn't feel particularly reinvigorated on Sunday morning, Mark.
No,
to be fair.
Well, that's the fair point you make. We'll get into more of that later. I'll discuss injuries and that sort of thing as we go along.
Yeah.
Are we going to explain to the good people who are listening about maybe how this is going to run slightly different to...
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've been away for about 3 weeks now, haven't we? So
I'd say so, yeah.
Feedback is a touch shorter this week. We've had a couple of bits and pieces come in that we did want to touch on though. We've got a news section for this week's news. Again, we could go back 3 or 4 weeks if we'd wanted to, and we would have had a news section that probably would have lasted an hour and a half, and again it makes it unwieldy. And then...
Yeah, because people have had the chance to talk about stuff and see stuff, and
precisely.
It's all very much old news, and a lot of the signings and that sort of thing that have gone on that we won't pick up on, we'll be picking up on next year when we do our season preview, because we'll talk about the ins and outs and that sort of stuff. So
precisely,
everyone knows where everyone's at, really, don't they?
And then it rolls into the match reviews for the Four Nations fixtures that we've had so far. So it kind of follows the same pattern, really, just with a few tweaks,
smaller amounts of stuff going on at the starts, just because most of the stuff's almost redundant or old by now.
Well, that's it. So it's going to be a bit more of a bite-sized episode by our standards. It's still going to run over an hour, I would estimate.
Oh, well over.
At the start. Sure. So this is usually the curse that we fall under as well when we say, short episode this week, and it's just gone 8:15 or coming up 8:15 now. Having said that we think there's going to be a short episode, I fully anticipate you being in about 11 o'clock.
Well, I want to get home and download the BBC show from tonight that's been on that I listened to a bit of on the car on the way over.
I see.
Because I'm sure that'll be well more informed than what we're... Oh, it's got JJB on, so it's going to be hard to listen to a radio show with JJB.
Yeah, it might be better informed, but how would you know? Is the way to talk about it. The other note I made before we get into the Four Nations, Mark, tell us about listener numbers, because you intimated to me on Saturday that we had a very well-received couple of episodes at the end of the season.
The awards show... bit lower on numbers, but I think that's probably more because newer people who've joined along the way might not feel as tuned into the awards sort of thing, because they're over a longer run thing, and also just because it might have got buried a little bit behind the double upload that we did. So but the season review show, Tom, was our best show ever.
That's superb.
To my knowledge, I don't keep proper numbers on it, and we don't have that storage anymore that lets us keep loads of episodes, but to my knowledge it's gone well over 1,000 plays, which for us makes us feel like
superstars.
Yeah.
So what we did was capitalise on the momentum that we built and didn't put a show out for 3 weeks. So with some luck, we'll have to do some pretty serious... So we're calling on people now to do some promotion on our behalf and help us keep that traction as we head into the quieter part of the season, and share the hell out of us as you get the opportunity.
Give this one a push. People have a couple of weeks to listen to this one and catch up on all the listeners' thoughts, really, because I'm sure we've got plenty of stuff coming for the games. You've put the rundown together this week, so it's all a surprise to me.
I know.
It's going to be an exciting ride for me and you listeners.
Absolutely, white knuckle stuff from Mark. Okay, normally in the introduction section of the show, we talk about how our weeks have been, but basically the epicentre of our weeks, or the peak of our weeks in some senses, we shared, didn't we?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Going down to the Four Nations in Coventry. So we kind of decided pre-show that we would talk about all the stuff that orbits the actual matches now.
Yeah.
Rather than get waylaid when we actually get to talk about the games themselves. So how was your weekend, Mark? Well, yeah, it started in the car on the way down when you looked across at me and went, do you want a beer? I had not brought beers along for the very reason that we were probably going to be having a few anyway. And it was your Uncle Liam and his friend Helen that drove down with us, wasn't it? And we got to Coventry in good time.
Yeah, we stayed at the Novotel near to the
motorway.
Near to the motorway. I would say the hotel itself was good. The service was not
turgid,
not brilliant,
a bit slow.
The main explanation behind that.
I had no problem with the service, to be fair, because I got my drinks came when I ordered them, and my bed was made.
So we had 3 rooms because there was 4 of us, but to cut costs, we made one of the rooms a shared room.
Yeah.
Because Helen had to be on her own, obviously, it would be uncomfortable for her to have to share with any of us drunken men.
Of course.
But I shared with my Uncle Liam.
Yes, you did.
And
which meant I got a room all to myself.
And it turned out I shared with my Uncle Liam because no matter how many times I asked,
and you did ask,
which I believe was 3 times in total.
Well, I know you definitely asked on the way out of the hotel prior to.
I mentioned it when we were checking in as well about there being 2 beds and that sort of situation. He said yes, they've all got that. Then we definitely asked on the way out, didn't we?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I sort of picked it up with some member of staff on the after hours bar crew.
I don't know anything about this.
At midnight in the morning. But basically, I spent an hour and a half talking to a couple from Lee who were Swinton fans and their friend who was a Wigan fan.
Right.
About the state of the world of rugby league, really, and it was a great time chatting with them. And I completely forgot all about the fact that Liam was brewing up in the bedroom and I was getting the bed sorted out. I forgot all about all of that. I ended up chatting to this couple and the friend for an hour and a half or so. It was great
because we'd said goodnight and gone our separate ways at this point. So you've gone I'd gone upstairs and had a wash and eaten a ham sandwich watching American Dad. That was my little end to the night. I mean, ham butties.
So we've gone from the start to the end quite quickly there. We've got a lot to fill in the middle.
So, out to Coventry, to the Longford Engine, which is somewhere in the top 100 on TripAdvisor in terms of pubs in Coventry, would be the kindest way to put it.
I think you said it was something like 64 or something.
Maybe, yeah. So it's in the top 100.
But you would have given it a stonky good review. You and Helen were very fond of the traditional nature of the boozer.
I quite liked it. It was a good old-fashioned, roughish pub. I had a great time.
It had a manhole cover in the floor of the toilets, which I believe were built on the outside of the pub.
Yeah,
that's how old school this place was.
The barman was drying his bar towels in front of an open fire.
Yeah, that was incredible.
In the pub, which was amazing. But as much as it was kind of a bit of a shabby looking spot, cracking pint of Guinness, really well served, very well flavoured.
The staff were great as well. They were chatting, nice,
absolutely champion. So that was us. I think we were meant to be stopping in there for 1, but we ended up having at least 2.
Yeah, and then we walked along the canal to the Rico.
Which again I was really impressed by, not the canal, the Rico itself. I've seen it driving past on the motorway intermittently.
Yeah, but I've never been so close, yeah.
But it was fantastic, and we got into the Rico and went to we walked all the way around it because we had a choice of left or right, and one was going to take us all the way around and one was going to be a quick 100-yard hop, and we were pissed and we didn't care, so we went right around the stadium.
But it did give us the benefit of me meeting Josie Andrews, who's a big Wigan fan, who any Wigan fan will know from Wigan forums, Facebook pages, Twitter and the like, and she's, a wonderful lady who loves her club. So it was really nice just to quickly say hi to her, because we always seem to miss each other whenever I say, oh, if you're at that game, I'll come and say hello. Or she actually sits in the same stand as me at the DW, but she sits like right near the front, whereas I'm right near the back. And,
okay.
I don't see her on the concourse to say hello to.
But she is a legend at the DW, isn't she, from what I understand, from what you explained to me, so that's amazing.
Yeah, Sean O'Loughlin's best friend and everything.
They are.
but no, she's a really great fan of the team, and it was really nice for me to meet her because she puts in a lot of good work on the forums that I go on and that sort of thing.
That was superb. And we, on the way round to the fan park, obviously had made arrangements to first of all bump into Sean Bruiser, who was kind enough to acquire our tickets for us at a discounted rate.
And what a good job he did. I mean, and thank you to him for that. And
absolutely,
yeah. Other than like his shivers that he was having on his legs, he needs to get some thermal pants or something for in time for Sunday's game.
It'd be chilly.
But other than that, I mean, it was great to spend a lot of time with him. Probably better for us than him, given how hammered we were by that point.
Yeah, we would have been fairly infuriating. I'm reasonably sure we weren't too obnoxious, but so we got into the fan park, and first of all, we had the pleasure of meeting a man. Well, we saw our first SLP jersey come back to roost, really, didn't we? Because Aidan Stalker came over to say hello to us and have a bit of a chat, all the way from Tipperary, County Cork. Is that where he's from originally?
He lives in Cork. He's from Tipperary.
Right.
He came a long way to see us.
You've done that twice now. I've skirted around that one. But what a gent, and how amazing was it to see the SLP? And it was obviously well cared for and loved.
It was like a meeting in the crowd sort of thing. He saw me in my jersey, and I saw a wonderfully bald man walking towards me, and saw the sort of the V just sort of slipping out of his jacket, and I was like, you must be Aidan, because no one else is wearing our shirt here, and thank you. For us, it was
amazing.
It was probably one of the... Aidan's the only person I think we've sent a shirt to who we've not seen in the shirt, other than maybe Rich down under.
Yeah, and I think his is more in transit, isn't it? Or it arrived, we've not seen a shirt quite yet, have we?
Yeah.
I remember getting a message from him a while ago, but no, it was brilliant.
So it was like... It was really special that it sort of brought back to us like just how great the community around us is and how it's all about how great they are, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Helen was quite taken aback by the... Well, we'll run through the next 5 minutes. That's 5 or 10 minutes as they happened. Actually,
well, yeah, absolutely, because it was.
Not explain Helen.
Well, I think we'll explain Helen. That's a funny way of putting it, but so we've had Aidan Stalker. We've bumped into Bruiser at this point as well,
I think Bruiser hadn't arrived yet. I think the next person to tip up.
You're absolutely right. This is all very hazy for me.
Was Al Witts.
Al Witts and hhis friend Gav.
Yeah, Gav, who watched me walk into the ladies the fan zone.
Excellent.
And then I walked out. I walked in, I opened the door, held it open for two women, thinking this is perfectly normal because I was a little bit tipsy.
Yeah.
And then she said, I think you're in the wrong place. And I said, I think you're right, but I'll hold the door for you anyway, and then I'll leave.
Yeah.
So then I went next door.
Did you not offer her a mint and to wash her hands? Spray a bit of aftershave. Do you want a chup, love?
I went next door into the gents,
which is the right thing to do,
and turning from doing his business to face a very tipsy me was our great friend Paul Campbell. So I'm there like, Paul,
big Scotland fan, Paul Campbell,
and embraced him in the middle of the gents.
Look at that.
I don't think he was as keen on, and I told him where you were so he could come over. He was just waiting for Sam to get out the loo and that.
That's it.
And
you were already on that, weren't you? You'd kept an eye on her to make sure that she was, Sam's not his missus, is it? Sam's the missus. Yeah, so you were already in the ladies, making sure she was okay. She's all right. I've just seen her.
Good point. So then, and at that time, Sean had joined us too with his friends as well. Did you note down their names? Because I spoke to them for most of the game.
No, I'm sure Sean will forgive us. I'm sure that Sean knows that we were pretty tipsy at that point. And this is pre first game. So at this point, I think I remember as we go into
this is after like yard-long hot dogs.
I hadn't eaten at that point either. I'd had sandwiches.
I didn't eat well on a fall night, but so we got so we got everyone got together, introduced people, had a nice chat. It was really nice to meet people. Bumping into old friends now like Paul, and then meeting new people as well like Aidan and Al, and obviously Sean, who almost. What I like about Sean compared to the others, and this isn't a knock on the others, because the others are all really like grateful to us for doing the show and that sort of stuff. Sean now,
you're picking your words very well. Go on.
Sean now, after all the time and the bits he does for us, he arranges the Super Roo competitions and things like that.
That's true.
He almost doesn't appreciate what we do. And I mean that in the nicest possible. Like it was just like catching up with Sean, sort of thing.
Are you saying that
do you know what I mean?
He doesn't see us as the rugby league celebrities that we are to other people?
Yes.
And he doesn't look at us through those rose-tinted specs and put us up on the pedestal.
He sees us how we see ourselves.
Other listeners do. Even your Helen commented that it was quite strange to see people coming up to us and...
But that's what I was going to get to. Helen was saying it was almost like